The Italian Renaissance happened between the 14th and 16th century. A movement that stayed for most of the Renaissance was a humanist movement about humanism. Humanism is defined as a system of education and mode of inquiry. This movement was run by people that weren't scholars of the clergy, which was essentially anything with religion. Humanism focused on human nature and all manifestations of it. Some of the people who were part of this movement focused on current human learning and growth, while others focused on humans and human activities in history. Science and art are manifestations of human curiosity and inspiration, and both were branches of knowledge. Art was a way to explore nature and find inspiration from it, both human and other living beings as subjects, while science was the actual observations and discoveries of the natural world. All this learning and knowledge was coming from experience, and experience is complex as it can differ in meaning from person to person. According to Britannica, experience is defined as the process of doing and seeing things, and of having things happen to you, or also known as skill or knowledge that you get by doing something. Two famous people from the Italian Renaissance really utilize experience and go about it in very different ways. The first person I want to talk about is Leonardo da Vinci. He was born in Anciano in 1452 and was alive during the Italian Renaissance, surrounded by a changing dynamic society that inspired art, curiosity, and exploration. He was a painter, scientist, draftsman, sculptor, and architect and engineer. He considered his eyes to be his main avenue to knowledge. He truly emulated humanism in his pursuit of knowledge, applying the scientific method to everything, including art and music. He believed experience was to do and see with your own eyes, which led to him never publishing any of his works or ideas. This was because he was against the idea of people claiming they had experience when really they were copying off of someone else's work from the past. He saw limitations in learning the truth of the world through only writings and religious texts like the Bible. That is why he observed nature and recorded anything he saw. He used a method of close observation, repeated testing of the observation, precise illustration of the subject, and object or phenomenon with brief exploratory notes. His methods were of science and observation, and used experience as a way to learn about the world around him. The second person I want to talk about is Niccolò Machiavelli. He was born in 1469 in Florence, Italy. He was alive during the Italian Renaissance and was a diplomat, author, philosopher, and historian. His most well-known work is the political treatise The Prince to the Medici family. His ideas focused on removing religion and morals from politics, claiming it to be the best way to rule and maintain rulership. These ideas come from his readings on ancient civilizations, but also from experience as a Florentine diplomat from the Florentine Republic before it was overthrown and the Medici family returned to rule. When writing The Prince, Machiavelli mentions in his introduction that, "I have not found among my belongings anything that I hold more dear or valuable than my knowledge of the conduct of great men, learned through long experience of modern affairs and continual study of ancient history. I have reflected on and examined these matters with great care and have summarized them in a small volume, which I proffer to your magnificence." Machiavelli supported that history and examples from it are the drive of civic and military education, that we continue the cycle of history. This was supported by humanists that wanted to preserve antiquity and allow them to aspire to revive the past of humans. The similarities between Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli are that they both believed experience was important and learned their skills and knowledge from it. They also believed that religion should be separate from their work and experience. Leonardo da Vinci didn't believe that religion should be a part of the scientific method, while Machiavelli thought that religion and morals should be removed from politics and government, seeing as politics as black and white with no emotions behind decisions. However, these similarities stop here, as Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli had different methods and goals in what they wanted experience in and how they did it. Leonardo da Vinci focused on science and the scientific method in art, science, and inventions, and experience through observation and experimentation, which means he was very hands-on in his learning. Machiavelli focused on politics and diplomatic duties, and his method of experience was to do so in a job setting. He was not experimenting on his own time, but was building his skills through responsibilities as a diplomat of the Florentine Republic. They also have differing opinions on reading history and writings. Leonardo da Vinci sees using writings in religious texts like the Bible as not experience and learning, but only repeating what has already been said. Leonardo sees people who claim their knowledge comes from experience when it actually comes from previously written works, as people who don't grow and learn knowledge and learn new things. His view of experience is to learn about the world around him and make discoveries on his own, which is why he never published his findings, as he found his experience was his own doing and was his own personal thoughts. Machiavelli sees reading historical writing and examples as templates for his experience in his job as a diplomat. He claims that history is the backbone of civics and military education and is the starter for his knowledge in his position. He experiences through his job, his skills, and knowledge he learned through reading, combining the practical side of his experience through his job with his knowledge of history. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli may have been born in the Italian Renaissance only around 20 years apart, but they were raised and taught very different ideas of experience and how to approach it. This shows different sides of the humanism movement during the Italian Renaissance, with one side being Leonardo da Vinci wanting to learn more about the world and how humans work and how the natural world works by making discoveries and experimenting through observation, and the other side being Machiavelli practicing his knowledge from readings about history in his job as a politician, which preserves the human history and ideas of the past. Personally, I think that a balance of knowing history and past knowledge can help to learn and make new discoveries. Curiosity stems from inspiration, and history can create questions for gaps of knowledge we don't know yet. Experience grows from the world around us, and the history of the world as well. I agree that we shouldn't be reviewing the same pieces of work over and over again and claiming it as new knowledge and claim it as learning. Learning is about making insights and deeper thoughts that create new questions for us to explore. This can be done by looking at history and filling in knowledge that we don't know by looking at the current world as it's growing with us. I feel inspired when looking at Leonardo's work and use it as practice to make my own paintings, building skills by doing, like Machiavelli did in his job as a diplomat. The humanism movement and the Italian Renaissance was about growth and learning about humans and seeing how we like to turn to the past for inspiration. Tells us more about how humans think and where curiosity comes from. We want to learn by using previous knowledge to explore more of the current world around us. This doesn't mean that we aren't growing. It just means that we need a point of inspiration, and the world is still the world, even in the past and in the present, which means we can always grow. My video is about the study of experience, and I've truly showed my learning through experience by painting the Mona Lisa. I'm not very good at portraits, and I really wanted to try a new thing while I talk about experience. I think I did really well on it. It's definitely not perfect, but nothing is in this world. My mom loves it very much, so she'll be getting it as a gift this year. I would say I think Leonardo da Vinci would be very proud of my work at trying new things. Overall, I had a great time doing this, and I'm glad I had this opportunity to do this.